interested in teaching English in China during my final year at university. I was, of course, I think like most people, thinking about what I wanted to do next once I graduated. I wanted to do travelling, but also I wanted to have kind of a structure to my next step after university. And one day at a business fair kind of thing at my university, there were a few recruiters suggesting to go and teach in China, and I found it really interesting, so I did some more research and I took the necessary steps to contact schools and find out more about it, and each time I spoke to people about it I was more and more interested into it, so I began the process of application, and I graduated in July of that year, and in the following September I was coming out to China, so that was how I got into it. Whereabouts in China you would like to be. Of course, it's one of the biggest countries in the world and the regions vary significantly, so firstly think about whereabouts in China you would like to work, what kind of city you'd like to work in, one of the big cities or a second tier city such as here in Foshan, a more isolated area, and also I think it would be good to think about what kind of age children you'd like to teach, what kind of school you'd like to work in, whether it be a kindergarten, a public school, a secondary school, the kind of hours and the structure to a day that you'd like to work in. I think those are my biggest pieces of advice, and just to really think about if moving countries and integrating into new culture is something that you think you can do and that you'd like to do, and just I think do some more research into life in China, get more perspective on how it is out here, and just do as much research as you can before you come out here so that you feel as prepared as you can be. So I actually really love living in Foshan. In China it's considered a second tier city, but it still has 7 million people living here, so actually it's a very big city. But in comparison to other cities around China, it is quite a small area, I suppose, but that means it's got more of a community feel to it. There's where we live, there's a nice community feel. I can do my shopping in local shops and have good relationships with local people, but there's also other areas in Foshan which are really nice to go to, such as a place called Zunyao. They have many Western restaurants and fun things to do there, and I also love living in Foshan because of its good and really convenient connections to Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Macau, which are all really big, exciting cities. I really like living in Foshan because of that, and Foshan just has everything I need. It has plenty of places to go and explore nature if you just go a little bit outside the city. It has a good metro system and lots of public transport. There's lots of places to go and eat and go out and enjoy. There's plenty of places to relax. It has everything that I need here without being too overwhelming. Big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, they're all amazing, but they're much bigger, of course, so it's really nice to live in a city that has everything you need in it without being too overwhelming for when you first arrive in China. So I've been living here in Foshan since September 2017, so about a year and a half now. I've enjoyed every minute of being here. It's hard to choose one thing I like about teaching English, but for me, I think it's seeing the benefits that it can bring to such young children at their age, to see them grow and develop in a way that you know that will give them a springboard into the rest of their life. They can speak English and understand even just basic English. That's such an important skill to have in the world nowadays, and to be able to help them with that in the most fun way possible, I absolutely love that. Every day it's just so exciting. There's no limit to what we can do as teachers. We can do all kinds of games, all kinds of activities. It feels amazing to be able to teach them this important skill, but to also give them they will have a really good time doing it as well. I think that's what I love. I mean, Monday mornings are not a problem for me. You know, I love waking up on a Monday knowing that I can go and teach my class English and that they're going to have a great time. I'm going to have a great time teaching them English. I think it's hard to choose one thing, but I think it's just seeing the benefit that it can bring to them. That is my most significant reason why I love teaching English. Which I do with my kids fairly regularly is it's a game that I kind of made up, and it's based on Hangman, but basically I separate the class into 2 teams, and on the blackboard I draw 2 hot air balloons, and each hot air balloon has strings attached to it which I draw on, and the basket underneath, and the strings are for how many people are in that team. And then you can play the game for any topic, but they go 2 by 2, one person from each team. They have to compete to figure something out, answer a question, find the right flashcard, that kind of thing. And then whoever's the slowest, they get a string taken off their balloon, and then it's obviously a race to try and make sure that doesn't happen, because the team that loses their strings, obviously their balloon falls down. And it sounds really simple, but it's so exciting for the kids. They get so excited and they want to win and they want to answer the question, and it's such a good way to teach them English and to make teaching English not even like a lesson. It's just so much fun for them. So it's quite random, but I think that's probably my favourite activity that I am doing at the a typical day teaching English in China. We start work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and from 8 o'clock until 8:30 we have morning sentence, which is just lots of fun games and songs that we do outside with the children. When that finishes, we take them back to the classroom, we serve them breakfast, and we do morning activity before the lesson starts. At 9 o'clock the first lesson begins, and that finishes at 9:25. Then we get the kids ready to go and do morning exercise routines outdoors. Then we have playtime outside for a little while, or we go to a special class. And special classes are activities that include kung fu, swimming, art class, PE class, all kinds of activities that the kids can do. And then we have a second English lesson in the morning. Again, that's 25 minutes, and then at 11:30 it's lunchtime for the kids, which we introduce, and then it's our lunchtime too, and then we have a 3-hour lunch break until 2:30 where we return to work. We have prep time from then until 2:50, and then we either go and do afternoon teaching, or we have another hour of prep time, and then we go to our own class from 4 till 5, spend time with them, do fun activities with them, and then at 5 o'clock we're free to go home. There's lots that we can use. There's no limit really. We have an online network which every month the teaching content for that month is put up, so we can access all of that. Things like songs, flashcards, PowerPoint presentations, worksheets, crafts, everything is on there that we could need for that month. We'll have our own folder which we can put all of our resources into and use whenever we like. Of course, we can use the internet to help us with things too. We all have our own computers. We also have a really good resource room, which I often use for arts and crafts things. We can go there and get anything we need for that. We can use the art rooms to help us with that too. And another thing which I think is really good is that every month we get a 200 yuan allowance to buy things for our classroom, to do with our class. So if there's something that we can't find at the school, we are given the means to go and get things ourselves and use that. So yeah, I think the resources and access to resources are really good at NHIK. Freedom to travel as well around this part of the world. So I've been to a lot of places that I never thought I would go to. I think my favourite place that I have visited so far was Japan, which I went to in the Golden Week holiday last October, and I never ever thought I'd be able to get to Japan. It's so far away from England, but being in China made that very easy to go there. Of course, it was during a national holiday, so that was really good, and it was just absolutely incredible to see Japan. I have so many good memories from that trip, and it's just made me want to continue living here and be able to travel more and see places that I never thought I would see. But as well as Japan, I've been to lots of places in Southeast Asia, such as Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, and actually next week we've got a long weekend, so I'm going to Kuala Lumpur for a couple of days. I think it's very rare that you can say in a job that, oh, I'm just going to another country for the weekend, but in China you can do that, and it's fine. And it's just so exciting that we can do that. So yeah, I'm so grateful to be living in China and to have the opportunities to travel like this.